right, what's happening, everyone? Welcome back to Excessive Podcast. I'm Aiden, and today I'm joined with Biz.
What's up?
And John.
Hello.
Today we have a very special guest joining us, multi-platinum producer HenryDaher. Henry, would you like to say hello?
What's up? What's up?
You was good.
Of course. He recently dropped his new album, R.u.ok, featuring Craig Zen, Ski Mask, and a few other features. I think everybody should definitely check it out. There's a link in the description below. So...
Wow, yeah, no, that's a crazy first drop.
Yeah, crazy features for a first. What do you call that? Your debut album, debut mixtape?
Man, I don't know. Like, I want to say debut album, but it's just the first one. You know what I mean? So I don't want to be the type of person that like goes back in like 2 years and is like, that wasn't my debut album. Like, you know, it's still coming. You know what I mean? If anything, I feel so strongly about this project that I could see myself even re-releasing it in the future. You know what I mean?
Wow.
No, that's interesting. Sure. I mean,
like, just you know, sometimes you might want to hit them in the head like 3 times with it.
Yeah.
Released album ever.
Yeah, just wait till like it builds up. You know, like your following builds up, and then when they're like,
Facts,
release something,
sure.
so release something different. You just bring this back like a couple years later.
Yeah,
I was like,
that would be
this
sick.
is new.
yeah.
But
sure.
With the album, Are You Okay? What was the general feel you were trying to portray through like the album?
So if you hear it, you know, but it's like really, it's like a style, bro. It's like a reflection of me, like thus far, you know. Like, so I've been like producing, like, for a long time. I've been doing music a long time, played in bands and shit. But like this project to me was just like my like sound in a project.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like that's why I feel like it'll just like last forever, because it's like, yo, this was Henry from this period of time, and like that's that. You know what I mean? And it's super gloomy. You know, it was in my like learning stages of like early adulthood. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just getting your roots.
Yeah, your ups and downs, and it also represents just like the cast is just like everybody who's fucked with me thus far. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's all like people that I'm cool with, super close with, that have always looked out for me. And maybe even if you see their name and they might not be like a poppin' ass artist, go do your research and you'll see that that person's like a really well respected person, and you know what I mean? They do their thing
within the community. Yeah.
What's it called?
Not just community, but in the music industry.
The album itself was very, very chill, very wavy. It's like, it's definitely something to like just vibe to. Yeah. And that's what I really appreciated about it, to be honest. It was like, there were some songs where it was mainly just your own production of the song. It wasn't like any other features, and it was that was just it was very nice to have.
I mean, yeah, you got Ski Mask to sing, like very. we don't get a lot of singing songs from him.
I got more too.
Really? That was like very, very melodic ski song.
We haven't got a lot of those.
Yeah, we haven't got a lot of those.
I mean, that's just the type of producer I am, though, too. You know what I mean? Like, I can come through and, you know, give you what you want, but a lot of times, a lot of these artists, like, they'd be like, yo, Henry, I want some of that. Like, they hear my vault and they're like, oh, yo, you know, like, let me get a little bit of that sauce. You know what I mean? Straight up.
What efforts would you say go into like producing and publishing this album? Because this is like your first time doing like a large scale production album, right? So I would assume it come with like highs and lows.
Well, it's been relatively smooth because this is all built on friendship and like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just natural. So like these songs were also songs kind of designated for me, like throughout like the past like 8 to 10 years. Like, I've been moving around and working with different artists, and we work on shit for them and for their projects. And like these songs, like for some reason, like the whole time I was like, I would email somebody something and be like, yo, like I'm putting together like my project. You know what I mean? I always knew I was gonna have something. So I was just like kind of planting seeds, like, yo, here. Yeah. And then like shit just started falling into the place, you know.
Yeah. So when did you start producing that? Because it sounds like you've been doing it for an extended period of time.
So, I started producing probably like 12 years ago. 10 years, I would say, like legit.
Wow.
But when I was in high school, I definitely had like electronic music class. Like my first 2 years in high school, I was in like band and shit.
I don't think we had that.
Drumline.
No, we didn't have that.
You had a class that taught you how to produce, like.
Yeah,
school?
Yeah, juniors, but you had to be in like the music program. So like,
oh geez,
so like,
yeah, we didn't have
electronic music, and they taught you how to use Logic.
Oh wow,
wow.
What?
But they didn't really like respect. You know what I mean? Like,
if you don't mind me asking, where are you from? Because like on East, like in Jersey, like they don't have that here, as far as I know.
Yeah, I grew up in Orlando.
Oh
wow. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez, what a movie.
So
yeah,
high school.
Yeah, no, we don't have any of like that kind of attention up here with like when it comes to like producing music and stuff like we just have band.
Yeah, like
it was a new thing when we got it, but bro, so dope, bro. Like you like walk into a classroom and it's like at that time too, it was like 2009, you know. So like at that time it was like, damn, you walk into a room, it's motherfucking Apple like MacBooks and shit
everywhere.
You know? It's like, damn, this is the type of class I want to be in every day.
Yeah,
damn.
That was like our TV, like our production class that we took.
Yeah, our TV.
That's how we got into like.
My school is like a magnet school for like that school was like, you know.
Okay.
Oh,
that makes sense. Okay.
Like that.
Yeah, no, we're just public. We
you know, shout out to Wayne Brady, DJ Khaled, you know, HenryDaher.
Damn.
DP alumni.
So, yeah. Do you enjoy making music like for yourself, or are you more of like a collaborative person and being like on other, like working with other people's albums? Because like we saw you had a song on Scheme's album with Joey Badass. So do you like making, like going through like the process of like compiling an album or like putting out under your own name, or do you have more fun like enjoy producing like with like a larger collective of people?
Yeah, for sure. Yes. I'm totally like collaborative dude, bro. Like I come from like being in bands, right? So I like always preach this mentality to all the homies, like yo, when we were in bands and shit, we had 5 minds all in the garage. Fucking, yo, I got the guitar idea. I got the drum idea. I got this. And motherfuckers is like battling it out over who has the best idea or who's not doing too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, that's why even when I see people like Drake and like the big ass artists and you see their credits and it's like 30 people, it's like, I be supporting that and I be preaching that to the homies, like, yo, put your ego aside, you know what I mean? Put the idea of splits aside and shit, and just like put the right minds together and make the perfect record.
Yeah,
you know. And as far as me putting out shit myself, I felt that I'm so deep into it. I felt like it was time, like, to do it. Like it took, you know what I mean? Like 10 years in, couple like two platinum records, dope records with dope artists. Now I was like, I have my feet in. Let me drop a project. And then go back into like my cave and then just work with the homies. You know what I mean?
Damn.
Yeah. So, has the pandemic made it harder for you to go out and collaborate? Like, do you do it like mostly like in house? Like you just like go email like vocals and beats back and forth, or do you like being in the studio better? And
I travel around a lot, so pandemic did fuck it up. But I do have like a strong like system of like musicians here in Orlando. So when I was here, like my studio, I got my drums, everything I need, and like the homies come through. If I need like saxophone, violin, whatever, the whole, you know, like the whole nine. So pandemic didn't affect me that much, but I, you know, to work with other people though, you know, I like to be in the room. Yeah, because that emailing shit sometimes is it's not the same. Like it's not as authentic like being in person and doing like the live like mixing and everything. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can send a beat to somebody, and they can like everything, but if there's that one little sound, a little hi hat is just peaking a little too much, or you know, and then they're like they completely disregard the beat. If you're there in person with them, sometimes they can be like, oh damn, that hi hat's just hitting that wrong side of my ear, bro, and then you just open the session, lower the goddamn hi hat or replace that motherfucker, and then you got yourself a track. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, damn. Like you fix that problem.
You know, a lot of artists nowadays and like producers, ever since like the pandemic, they would just email back and forth. I feel like that would just be such a pain instead of like just doing it in person. But I know like in person now is like tough.
If the artist is like communicating well, I have no problem with that. You know what I mean? Especially nowadays, there'd be some extra people doing like collaborations on like Zoom and shit, and like I just can't bring myself to do that yet. but you know, like other than that, it's like there are ways to do it. But you know, a lot of times working with rappers, like motherfuckers don't be texting back all the time. Sometimes they rap on your beat and don't tell you they rapped on it, and then you link up with them a year later and they're like, yo, I did something to this, and then you're like, oh fuck, like the other homie rapped on it too. You know, and so you gotta like keep track of that shit.
Yeah, it's a lot of
that can run
management.
Yeah. It's awareness.
Would there be any like big differences, like because you work with like a wide range of artists? So do you notice like a big difference like on your end as like a producer doing like songs for like more established artists versus like up and coming artists?
Currently, I would say like no, because I feel like a lot of the people that I've worked with in the past, and like they typically come to me for my sound or like for that, you know, like that nostalgic, slow, you know, sometimes sad kind of vibe, you know. So, but you know, sometimes I have to like adapt to them, you know.
Yeah.
I think I forgot the goddamn question though. What was it though? Because I fucked up.
I said. Shit, I forgot. I said, were there any big differences? Was there any big like differences in workflow between like big artists and like getting a song out versus like an up and coming artist who's like starting? Like, do you work with like a bunch of up and coming artists?
So the up and coming artists usually trust you more. You know what I mean? You can guide them, and then like, you know, when you're in the studio for the first time with an artist, like a big artist, they might not like trust you enough, so they just want you to play beats in and out, boom. You know, but then as you like create the relationship and you get deeper in, then, you know, if the person respects you enough, they'll, you know, communicate with you and let you take the lead. Because being a producer is not just being a beat maker. You know what I mean? Like, that's something I be telling the homies as well. Like, bro,
you gotta guide the song.
Beat maker isn't always a producer. You know what I mean? And a producer doesn't necessarily always have to be a beat maker either.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. There's layers to it.
Absolutely.
So. You know, we noticed you have an association with Rolling Loud, and would you want to talk about that a little bit and what your experience has been with like Rolling Loud? And we noticed that like your manager is Tyreek from Rolling Loud. So
yeah,
how's it working with him and having him as a manager? You know,
bro, that's like one of my best friends, man. Like we've been at it like from the beginning of the shit. Like me, him, and Matt as well. Like his partner, Matt. Like, Matt doesn't really like manage me like that, but that's like family, you know what I mean? Like Tarek took the initiative, and that was just always our thing. Like, bro, it's like family on that side, you know. So we've been working from probably like 10 years, maybe a little more.
Oh wow,
you know.
Jeez.
Yeah, like before there was Rolling Loud, there was Dope BNT, and that was us like moving up and down Florida, 3 dates of every tour in Florida. Any national act that was coming through, we were posting up, grabbing a gang of weed, hanging out, doing, you know what I mean? Like, throwing shows, and Henry just there doing whatever the fuck needs to be done. But then brushing shoulders with the motherfucking artists, talking to people, rolling up some blunts, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Catching the vibe. And then, bro, years of that, artists coming through, everybody coming through. And then that's how we built our shit. And then they did the Rolling Loud shit. First year fucked up, and then it was nothing but success.
So have you gone to like all of them, or did you just go to like?
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah, for sure.
I
missed one. I missed one that was San Francisco. Can't remember too many. I can't remember the year, but like maybe 2018 or 19.
Oh, word. Which what venue's your favorite? Like out of the ones that they go through.
San Francisco.
Oh. San Francisco.
Dang.
yeah. Not San Francisco either. Sorry, Bay Area.
Yeah, no, because we went to the New York City
Oracle, one. R.I.P. the Oracle and the Raider Stadium.
I thought New York City rocked it. Dang.
Yeah, John and I went
legendary,
to the New York City
bro. Last year of the San Francisco one, they just let us just smoke in all the fucking like the, you know, like in the stadium how they have like those the suites.
Oh yeah,
every suite was like a green room for an artist, and they were like, "Yo, this is the last year. All like the teams are moving to Las Vegas and to San Francisco. Like y'all could blow down, do whatever the fuck."
Oh
like,
my god,
it was dope.
Damn,
that's nuts.
That must have been fucking fun.
Do you have any like crazy stories from like any of the artists you met while there, like in that time? Because you have to have a couple you could share.
I mean, look at me, bro. Look at me. And like picture me in a room with like Tato and Chief Keef.
Oh my god.
That's I got a story for y'all though, but there's too many. Like we could go forever.
Yeah, just all great times.
It's funny shit. But let's say this is a great one. So what happened? It was San Francisco, first year in San Francisco, and then Chief Keef had just arrived, and I have a connection to him through his manager, and his manager always knew that I was working with Rolling Loud, so his manager got into their little suite, and then he texted me. He was like, "Yo, like come through," and then like I went, grabbed like a bunch of Packwoods, shout out Packwoods, and just like stuffed my pockets in my backpack with just, like blunts and shit, and then like just went up to the room, right? So at this time, they don't have this anymore, but they had like a fuck you pass. So if you like official, if you're the homies, like you get a fuck you pass, because if any security goes wrong, you know, like you whip out the fuck you pass. And
I never heard about that before.
That's so great.
Right? Oh no! There's a fuck you pass, which was fuck you completely, and then there's like the fuck off pass, right?
Oh my god!
I had that fuck off pass visible.
The hall pass.
So I walk into the suite, and there's like Keef, and like I had been meaning to like meet him for like a while. Me and his manager had been talking, and so he introduces us. You know, like I whip out a bunch of blunts, and like Tato's there with like a fucking, like I want to say like a red like vest, you know, like the bulletproof vest and shit. Motherfuckers, you like hyped up, ready to go on stage and shit. And like they just like kind of like get in front of me, like both of them. And they're like looking at me and shit. And then Chief Keef like silent as hell, and he's like, fuck off. He's like, fuck off. And like, you know, he said like 3 times, kind of, well, fuck off. And then I didn't know I had this shit on, right? Or I didn't realize. So I'm like, what? I'm like looking at I look at the manager. I'm like, holy shit. And then he's like, no. Like your thing, like fuck off. Like, what's that about? And I looked at him and I was like, oh fuck, bro. I thought like Chief Keef just told me to fuck off. Everybody started laughing and shit.
Oh my god.
That's amazing.
That's funny. That's great. Wearing it like a name tag.
Yeah.
Have you gone up on stage and like performed in front of the crowds, like, or
nah,
like,
I don't
DJ?
do that.
You don't DJ at all?
I might start DJing here and there.
Ooh.
But maybe not for Rolling Loud. I mean, we might, if we see it fit, yes. But I'm not pressed for that. It's not my lane. Like I'm in the studio, I'm making like classics, not even hits. I'm making classics. That's it.
Word.
You know, and I play drums, so like eventually we will. Hopefully, second project, I have this vision just to like do like some like jazz shit. You know, some jazz hip hop.
Yeah, I heard
shit,
a little bit of
drums,
like that in your album. Like I heard a little bit of jazz there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of saxophone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I like
that too.
Yeah, man. Shouts out to Judson Wright. He was great.
Word.
Mm-hmm.
You also produced like a lot of the songs on Wi-Fi's album a couple years back. How was that experience?
That was a millions ups and downs, and but it was great, man. It was like a learning process for every single one of us. Like Tarek managed Wi-Fi at the time as well. And, you know, it was just like, bro, like you may not see it and shit, but like we did absolutely. Like Henry was always there. It was Henry, Gabe, Tarek, Wi-Fi.
You're behind the scenes a lot, like on a lot of the artists we listen to.
Yeah.
Like we were looking up more of like your catalog and stuff, and every time we just found more songs, and we're just like, holy shit! This made like all the songs that we played like at our parties and shit.
Yeah, that's crazy, yo. Thank you.
You also produced g-eazy's album too. that album did crazy numbers. It was, I would say, a radio hit.
Yeah.
A few of the songs made it to radio that year. And then,
yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah. He went like, I think he might have gone like diamond with that radio.
I think he did.
Yeah, the radio hit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
What was it?
You and I.
Me, Myself, and I, maybe. Yeah.
You and I with
the first one with BB Rexa. You and I.
That was I remember when that song blew up.
Yeah,
that was like
that one went crazy.
Yeah. What was that experience like working on like with G-eazy and like that album, like that whole like?
Man, it was always, bro. It's always great. I'm waiting for him currently to hit me up and just be like, "Yo, it's time again," because that's how he does it. And like I said already in this podcast, he comes to me and he says, I want Henry. You know what I mean? Like, he asked me for me. You know what I mean? I've been at his crib, his home studio, and like, I've tried, man. I've tried to play some bangers. You know what I mean? Henry wants a hit in the radio too. You know what I mean? Like, Henry wants that diamond shit too. But at the same time, he's like, yo, I need that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. You know.
That's awesome. I'm excited for more of that.
Yeah.
We also noticed, like, we were looking at your Instagram and we noticed you went on tour with like Ski Mask, X, and Danny Towers back when. What was that tour like?
Yeah.
Like, that's 2016.
That must be crazy.
Like
nostalgic.
That was kind of insane, yo. Like, and nobody was at any kind of point. Like, at that time, like Wi-Fi was like, I would say the most established because he had like the team. Like, we had like Tarek was already bubbling with his shit. You know what I mean? Like, I was doing my shit, supporting him do his shit, and like, it was just, I don't know. It was super interesting. I mean, I fucking lost the question. My bad. I should have taken less of a dab.
You're good.
But I was getting there properly too. Just say it again.
Yeah, I was saying, what was the experience of like touring with X? And,
okay, the experience of the tour. Okay, so look, during that tour as well, X was like had just gotten into jail. So like the Palm Beach show was like some like ratchet ass shit, and like I think that was the only one that he actually made it to, because he was locked up after that. So the whole tour was really just Wi-Fi, Ski, and Danny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Diablo DJing, I think. Was that Diablo DJ? Yeah, Diablo DJ'd on that. And but the X show in Palm Beach was like ridiculous. Like, the place was terrible. Like, there was no, like, the mics weren't working. They couldn't hear each other. Couldn't hear the music. So motherfuckers all went out to the back of the venue. Motherfuckers hopped on the Tarek's Tahoe, and like X, Ski, and Wi-Fi all hopped on the Tahoe. They blasted the fucking music out of the Tahoe and just like performed, and there was just hella kids around the fucking Tahoe, and they were just performing at the Tahoe.
That sounds insane.
Motherfuckers didn't care. Like, it was like, I remember being like, yo, Tarek, I don't know if this is a good idea. One, your car might get fucked up. And we in Palm Beach, like, you know, like.
Yeah. Do you remember when Fousey Tube did that a couple years back?
Oh yeah.
Like, I forget. I think it was in like Santa Monica or whatever, and like he tried renting out like this whole arena, and then like a bomb threat got called in, and then he like ended up hopping on top of an Uber and like destroyed it, and like bought the guy's Uber and like had like this whole like freak out.
What?
I did not hear.
Yeah. That's why, like, I don't know, having like people gather around a car like that. That's like.
Bad idea.
Yeah, that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, this dude out of Atlanta used to do that too. Rory, he's like hard to find nowadays, but he used to like just go post up in like popular areas and just like fucking have like a band on his truck or something and just
that's
like
crazy
bumping music.
That's insane.
Interesting.
Let's see. I mean, do you want to just like tell us about like the general like come up of like you like producing and like figuring out like your whole style and like kind of like getting yourself to like the point you are now?
For sure. Musically or musically, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I would just say, man, it was a lot of hard work and working closely with other artists, you know, like the whole time of being with Wi-Fi, man, like I was engineering every single record. If I didn't produce it, I engineered it.
So
you know what I mean?
Yeah, what goes into engineering exactly for those that aren't aware?
So I mean, that's just having a mic. Essentially, when you're with a rapper and you're just engineering, like you got to just have your gear. And like a lot at that time, we were just getting Airbnbs, and like I just drove by this fucking apartment spot the other day, and it's like where me and Wi-Fi recorded all of When Hell Falls. And it was just me and him locked in that Airbnb for like a month, and just like nobody but us smoking and just making this shit.
Damn.
And then so like working closely with those artists, like you have to have the fucking microphone, you got to have the speakers, and we just learned. I learned as I went, and by the time I already got to working with Wi-Fi, I worked a lot with my homie Nico and Nico was always the homie that he's nonstop, bro. He records fucking 1 million songs a day, and like we know each other for a long time, and he would just put me in he'd be like, yo, all right, Henry, record. And that was like years and years of just recording, having shitty ass tracks, learning how to mix, doing all that shit.
Yeah, so when it comes to like engineering though, like is that more of just like just being like the person with the mic, or like do you have to go back and adjust vocals for like more specific?
I mean, come on, yeah, you gotta make it sound good.
Well, I mean, like explain it to me like I don't know it.
Yeah, I mean, I make it sound like it's nothing, but yeah, you gotta fucking learn how to fucking do that shit. And also, but also it's like I pride myself in some shit. Like sometimes I be like, I don't even like saying I'm an engineer because I learned out of necessity. I mean, like these artists wanted to be in a room with just me. We didn't want to include somebody else in there and fuck up the whole vibe. You know what I mean? It's just like it's just comfortable enough to do that shit, and like you just learn, bro. And like you want to. My thing is like I want to wake up in the morning and hear something I heard or something I did the night before, and I want to be proud of it. I want to like hear it, and I want the mix to sound awesome. You know what I mean? Because if I wake up and it sounds good, it motivates me to move forward with the song. So the mix is incredibly important. You know what I mean? If I go to, I don't even, when I go to studios, I just plug my computer. I don't use their shit like that. I just use their gear. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I like to wake up in the morning. Like a lot of schools like will teach engineers like, oh, record the shit and then like wait 2 weeks until you open the session again, and then start mixing with a fresh ear. And I understand that, but when we in the rap game, like that rapper doesn't want to wait 2 weeks. You know what I mean? To hear one song sound properly. Like we want to wake up and feel good about ourselves and go make another one and then feel good about, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like just keep building up.
It's the motivation.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I mean, sounds like becoming a producer is a very like it's not just like a 1 month like, you know, master class type thing, you know. It sounds like years of like built experience on top of it. So I mean,
100%.
You also have to get like inspiration from some, right? So like, do you have any producers that you like get like inspiration from when it comes to like trying to get your sound to like the next level whenever you're coming like with a fresh head to a new track or coming back to an 100%. Old track?
Yeah, I mean, you know, like I'm a product of like Dr. Dre. You know what I mean? Like grew up like Dr. Dre 2001 Chronic was like my go-to hip hop album. Like I was probably in like 3rd, 4th grade, and like fresh in the United States because I came from Brazil, and like my parents like not knowing my parents not knowing like English that well and shit. They like just took me to Target, and I chose this Dr. Dre CD with the goddamn weed leaf on it, and it was parental advisory, and I was in 3rd grade, 3rd, 4th grade, and they bought me that shit. I opened the shit. The CD was a fucking weed leaf, 2001, and I was like the only kid with that shit, and I was bumping it nonstop, like with the CD player in my pocket, skating down the road, the song skipping like bang,
on a Walkman,
like on some shit.
So you saying like your music like or your production style like you get a lot of it from Dr. Dre and like his...
Dre? I mean, no. I mean, he has his style. You know what I mean? He has a style. You will hear a lot of stuff from me like that. Like you know, with people I look up to them for specific things as well. You know, sometimes not the full catalog is just like, yo, like Dre, I love his low end, I love his bass. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and so you'll hear some shit like that, but you'll like hear hints of it. You won't hear me doing like Scott Storch forgot about Dre. Ging, 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 ging. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna do that. But yeah, you know, Dre. But other than that, though, like Dre was a big influence. I mean, Timbaland, Pharrell, just because those were like the hits too, you know. And like I had to backtrack on a lot of those as like I got more into hip hop, you know, like cause I was growing up on bands and shit.
Yeah, you ever listen to Jay Dilla?
Of course, man.
Because I was gonna say I get like from the album, I get some Jay
his
Dilla
swing
vibes
is impeccable
from like your album a little bit.
Yeah, that's some g-eazy used to always tell me. It was like, yo, man, I want that Henry J. Dilla swing shit.
Yeah. I told you.
That's what it is, man. For sure. I have a huge respect for J. Dilla. Love the RFP,
he's a legend when it comes to 100%. Producing. And just
man, who else? Let me see. I mean Kanye, come on, you know what I mean? Like Kanye's crazy.
Of course.
Ninth Wonder is sick, you know. Ski Beats is super underrated. Reasonable Doubt is like my favorite Jay-Z album. You know, that's probably sums it up.
Word.
And I have a lot of producers nowadays, you know, that I super duper fuck with.
Like that are from like today, like that are still putting out music now. You mean?
Yeah. Like Christo, you know, the homie Timmy Holiday, who'll be sending me hella samples. I fuck with him heavy. A lot of people, man. Tay Beast, love Tay Beast. Soundwave. Ronnie J is hard. Like, come on, Ronnie like J. You know what I mean? J. Come on, Ronnie J is Ronnie J. What else is popping? Oh man, that dude stealing drums. I be seeing. I hit him up. He's dope. But like, I be seeing him on Instagram. He's super ill. Stealing drums, I think it is.
Word.
Yes, sir.
Also, we noticed there was a post from like a while back, and you had posted something about an article from XXL referencing a track with Ski and Juice coming out, and it was still up on your page, so I had to ask because there's been like articles on the internet talking about this song, this coveted song from.
Yeah, I have it.
So I mean, do you know what's going on with it? Because like, I mean, there's been like, I think there's been like leaks online of like the song or like snippets of the song or like different versions of it, and then
I don't know, man. You know, that's like, I want it to come out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want it to come out. We all pushing for it, but I mean, let the man rest for now. You know what I mean? We can revisit that like later. You know what I mean? Like,
true.
None of us are pressed right now to do. You know what I mean? To put out that shit right now. You know what I mean? Even though we want people to hear it, it's just like, man, and then people start thinking you're doing it for a reason,
for clout, and,
you know
like trying to build off like shit. Yeah,
like we letting the shit chill. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let it simmer.
And then we'll get back to it, bro. And everybody will hear the official version. Like I hope, even if I gotta be like goddamn 40, 50 years old, you know, like, I'm gonna put it on Spotify.
Eventually. We'll get it eventually. That's the thing.
Yeah, you know, just believe in it. I mean, and there will be other shit. Like, I mean, there's other music, man. Like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, do you have any?
Y'all gonna get.
I mean, do you have any music you're working on right now that people have been teasing online? You want to talk about that you've been a part of?
Teasing online. I don't know. A lot of the shit that I've been working on is still very like not out there, but there's a group now that's gonna be coming out, or they released their first single recently called "A Room Full of Mirrors," and they are like, I've worked a lot with them out in LA, and like I love them. It's like Punch, Daylight, Nick Grant, Jarius Law, Billy Marie, and Nick Grant. Did I say Nick Grant already? I don't know. But yeah, it's like 9 of them, and they're just ill. Hari as well. Hari, the engineer and producer, and like I got a bunch of records with them that are coming out soon, and then you know I've been doing some other shit.
You working on another album for yourself, or? I know you just released this one, but
I'm putting thought into it, right? So like It's like I'm kind of gonna do exactly what I did with my first project with this. Like, but I don't think it's gonna be like 10 years till you get another project from me. You know, I think you'll get people. I think people will get it within the next like year or two. But I'll be like, I'm gonna do the same thing. As I travel, meet up with people, work with them. I'm gonna just plant my seeds, and then just once I gathered a good amount, I'll start releasing it. I might do like short releases too. Like, I might do like 3 pieces, a bunch of 3 pieces, like link up with Jid, do 3 pieces, or link up with like what I mean, get like Ski. If I I have a few tracks that are still on like that same vibe on my project. So if we can get one more of those, we do a 3-piece with Ski, do a 3-piece with whoever. You know what I mean?
Damn, yeah, that would be fire as well.
Yeah.
I think we're running low on time here, but we wanted to thank you for joining us today, Henry. It's been an awesome interview, so thank you so much for joining us. Do you have anything else you'd like to say to us or the audience?
No, man, I just appreciate it, dude. I think this is probably my first interview ever.
Hey, congrats.
Let's go.
So I appreciate y'all for having me and shit.
Of course.
We appreciate you for joining us, man.
And make sure everybody checks out Henry's new album, R.u.ok. Everything's going to be linked below. Thanks again for joining us, and make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and check out Henry's channel and his new album. So we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
I feel your